Right then. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all doing? Thanks for waiting. Sorry about the little delay. A couple minutes late. Just had to do a couple of things, but we're back. We're here, and we're ready to make some money. Now, about that, it is NFP day. We have had NFP today. Big pieces of news. So that's threw up the markets a little bit. It's messed it up. But in terms of making money, I have took 2 trades today and made money on both of them. But I will walk you through that, and I'll walk you through my analysis on some other pairs as well, and what I think is going to happen over the next few hours, and looking at what's happened this week and what I think will happen next week. So we'll look at the fundamentals for today, look at what NFP was and how that went, then look at GJ, obviously, look at the positions I took this morning. Then we will go over to some other pairs as well and just look at my analysis from yesterday, see what happened, and then look at my analysis for tomorrow, for Monday, sorry, and for the next couple hours. So, obviously at 1:30 today we had NFP, we had that big piece of news, which obviously came back worse than expected, as you can see. Wait, that was last month. Last month it was worse than expected. This month it was worse than expected. So it's the same as last month, really, but it's still going to mess the market up a little bit. And we go onto the charts and you can basically see what's going on. I don't know why I'm on USD JPY, but yeah, on GBP JPY. So basically, this is the start of the big pieces of news. If you start looking at next week, we pull that out, you can see CPI next Wednesday, on Wednesday next week, and PPI on Thursday. So NFP is always it's the start of the big pieces of news. It's typically coming into the second week of the month, and as you can see, we are coming into the second week of the month. We're at the end of the first week. So we've got NFP today. We had NFP, and we're gonna have CPI and PPI at some point next week. But if we just look at what's going on here, right? I caught a sell this morning, which I think we were discussing live. I think I called this move live. I didn't call this move live. I think if we go into the Discord, I may have been talking about it in the fast track chat instead. Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, this position we were talking about inside of the premium Discord of my entry here. I got in a little bit late, but what we're going to do is we're going to delete all this. We don't really need to look at this, really. And then we'll go over those trades. Does that sound alright? So, first of all, on the daily time frame, we're getting that external structure which we were talking about, which we've been talking about for like the past 2 weeks now. We manipulated to the upside on the daily time frame. We had an external manipulation to the upside into a fair value gap. It was on the monthly, it was on a bunch of things. Obviously, we took out the buy side. Then we've had a nice move sell side. I am still holding this. I'm in my position up here, still holding all the way down to here. So that's going on. That gives us our bearish bias still. But now if we go to the if we go to like the 1 hour and stuff like that, basically we had a shorter term AMD here. I think I was using the half hour for this one. So I just dragged that over. This is a fair value gap on the 4 hour. I need to start labeling them again, but we have a fair value gap on the 4 hour, right? This here, which we've accumulated and then manipulated up into this fair value gap. So I was already bearish. We came into a 4 hour fair value gap and respected it, which is obviously even more bearish. Then we go to a lower time frame. Literally, this is textbook stuff, guys. I say this time and time again. We wait for accumulation. We manipulate into a fair value gap. Then we go to a lower time frame. Look for some candlestick patterns. Obviously, pairing all this with a bias. And then we take that move. And look at this, we manipulate up into a higher time frame fair value gap, the 4-hour fair value gap. Then we form a bearish candlestick pattern, an evening star candlestick pattern, where we've got our doji candles here. And then we have our nice move down to my take profit, which is taking out this liquidity over here. Simple stuff. You know, markets have always got it. Whenever you're in a trade, whenever you're about to take a trade, there's multiple reasons of why you got to take that, or why you got to be taking the trade. And it's all got to do with liquidity. You've got to have a story with it. You've got to have some context. You're either going to go towards liquidity, you've just taken out liquidity, or you're ranging. You got to make sure one of those things has happened when you're getting into a position. So when we're getting into this trade here, we were like, okay, we've took out the buy side liquidity over here, which means we're going to then target sell side. So we took out liquidity to target other liquidity, paired that with candlestick patterns and a fair value gap, and obviously the distribution to the downside, and we had our winning trade. Good morning, or good afternoon. And then a few hours later, so that hit my take profit this morning when I woke up. And then a few hours later, let me just show you actually. So this trade made me, I think it was 1,000. Can you see that? $1,000 there. GBP JPY. Don't know if you can see that or not. So that made me 1,000. Then this one made me 863. And this one, so first of all, we're just gonna, clean up, just get rid of all this. We don't need to look at this anymore. So that's one winning trade, which I was talking about yesterday. Then a few hours later, we have this trade. So this trade, pretty standard stuff again. The only thing this time is I was trading basically the expansion, so we actually do need to bring this back a little bit. So I was trading the expansion. So the thing is with expansion, the expansion phase of AMD, you kind of do have this little area of so between distribution and expansion, there is this little area, like a gray zone, where we're not really doing anything. It's not really a consolidation. It's not too big of a range. It's not much going on. We kind of just went sideways a little bit, but then we had a nice move up. So this is all the expansion, right? But the thing is about expansion, right? We tend to go back to the accumulation range. So here. So should all start coming together now. So we tend to come back to the accumulation range. So I was pairing that with this. So if we were looking for buys, we would target the accumulation range. Now, inside the accumulation range, I was actually just targeting this liquidity over here. I think it was this stuff right here, or this previous high, just at my entry over there, if you can see that here. I was targeting that area as the liquidity inside of the accumulation range, which I was expecting us to come back to. Now, we have also formed fair value gaps on multiple time frames. There's one here which we respected, but I think that was actually after hitting my take profit. Here it is. So what started happening is we basically, this might look a little bit messy. What happened is we started pushing up with that phase, but then we inverted this fair value gap. So when we inverted this fair value gap, I took my buy position, so it probably was about here. I took my buy position right here. Obviously targeting that liquidity, and I paired it with the fair value gap that was formed and respected, and the inverted fair value gap that was disrespected after respecting that inversion. Now, that made me 800, so both of these trades I made 4% altogether, which is crazy, that one on a Friday. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, that's the trades I've took. That's what's going on GJ. And basically what is happening now, because we've had this expansion, we might go up a little bit more. I do still think we are bearish, but we might go up a little bit more and then obviously consolidate. But that's what we're expecting next. So my analysis for tomorrow, or for Monday, sorry, is that we're going to accumulate. So between now and our next live stream, we're going to accumulate. That's my guess. Give or take a few hours. So we can get rid of all that stuff. We don't need to focus on that. We don't really need to look at this anymore, or this over here. I'm just going to let that consolidate. I might even give it just like all this room here. Now that's really clean. We know exactly what we're looking for next. And then when we manipulate after accumulating, we can start looking for all the fair value gaps and that kind of stuff. So we just leave that there now, and we can move on to the other things. So this is the routine. So I've analysed GJ. I've told you what was going on GJ, what my trades were, how I took them, all that stuff. Then we've gone over what I expect to happen next, and I don't think there's any trade positions now because of that expansion phase. But if, let's say we just finished manipulating, then we could look at taking buys or sells there. But we haven't. We've just finished expanding or reversing. It's still the same phase. So what's next really is an accumulation. Now that we've done that on GJ, we're going to go do the same thing on Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, we did end up taking a trade as well. I'm not sure. I think was this Wednesday. This was Wednesday's trade. So I called this on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I said this was gonna happen, and it won. On Thursday, I said this was gonna happen, and it won. Pretty simple. What happened here is this external AMD basically. If we go to the 1 hour, you should see it. So we accumulated, manipulated to the upside up here. You can really look at this different ways, but we accumulated, manipulated to the upside up, taking out this liquidity over here, and also coming into a fair value gap and respecting it. Now, when we came into that fair value gap, we also formed a candlestick pattern, I believe. We did right here. Right there, we formed an evening star candlestick pattern. Then we took that sell position to the downside and won, obviously. And that made me, I think I might have actually missed that move. I may have missed that move. Let me tell you. So Bitcoin from Wednesday, which was the 4th. Yeah, I missed that move, but I caught this move. So I called this move live. Didn't take the trade and missed it, unfortunately. Called this live, took this live, won this. I didn't win it live, but I won it. So yeah, that was that. So that's the external distribution. We had our accumulation, manipulation to the upside, came into this fair value gap, took out this liquidity. I took a sell down to this fair value gap. Then we started pushing through it, started to invert it, started to disrespect it. So I was like, okay, this distribution move is going to continue. Then I started looking for my confluences, my lower time frame fair value gaps, my internal liquidity. All of that ticked my boxes. Then I took my sell position, targeting the bottom of accumulation, or otherwise known, or also known as the sell side liquidity. That was my target, and that's what we took. And ever since then, we've been consolidating. Ever since distributing, we've been consolidating. It's textbook stuff, this, guys. Honestly, it's so systematic, so simple. So now on Bitcoin, we already know, look at this. It's just a walk in the park. We already know what's going to happen next. We're waiting for a manipulation to some direction. Hi, Raymond. How you doing? But it's textbook stuff. We've just by going over what happened yesterday, I've automatically analysed GJ. Just by going over what happened yesterday and how I made $2,000 in 3 trades between GJ and Bitcoin. I already know what's going to happen on GJ and what's going to happen on Bitcoin over the next couple hours. And all I've had to do is draw a yellow box, and I'm getting paid to do it, guys. This is ridiculous. Come on, guys. It's so simple. Now, gold. What's happened on gold? Okay, so news has messed this up, but we had our accumulation, manipulation to the upside, and distribution to the downside. Simple stuff. Yeah. Now, we distributed into a fair value gap, and I basically said we were going to continue up this way. I can't remember all of my analysis, but I did in fact call this live as well. And I can't remember my analysis too much. Honestly, I don't trade gold, so we've had our accumulation here, manipulation to the downside, distribution to the upside, and I was looking for a continuation of that distribution. There we go. That's what makes sense. So we had an external AMD. Obviously, you can see I'm on the 4 hour. We had our accumulation, manipulation to the downside. I called all of this again, guys. It's so annoying. It's so simple, honestly. I called this. I said on Tuesday or on Monday. I said on Monday or Tuesday maybe that this is the manipulation to this fair value gap. You can take your buy position now and take it up to this liquidity up here, and that's the distribution move. Look what happened. I don't trade gold. I didn't take this trade, and then obviously we talked about this trade up to here, and then we talked about this trade here. So then we broke above this fair value gap up here, which I'm thinking is on a higher time frame. On a lower time frame. Then we had our internal AMD, we had our internal accumulation, which you can tell by these boxes over here. Then respected this fair value gap. We could have just took a buy position targeting this liquidity right here, and it would have won. It kind of would have won. We took the liquidity eventually, but we had news there, so you might have got hit your stop loss. You might have been a bit messy, but the idea was right. That's the main thing. I'm not trying to catch that trade. This isn't a winning trade. That was the right idea. I called that live, like I always do. Moving on, we got New Zealand dollar versus the JPY. Now, someone asked me yesterday if this was worth selling long term. I said yes, and I also kind of said no. But there was a sell position yesterday, which I think I was discussing live as well. And this, again, is textbook stuff. I think I don't even need to explain it. Let's have a guess. Let's have a random guess what happened. Let's say we accumulated, manipulated up, and formed a candlestick pattern. I'm just going to say that. I feel like, we barely ever see a manipulation into a fair value gap and then a candlestick pattern. So I'm just going to go for a shot in the dark and say that. Let's see what happened. So we on New Zealand dollar, on the JPY, we did in fact have manipulation to the upside into a fair value gap, respect the fair value gap, form a bearish candlestick pattern. Then we had our nice distribution move. It's so straightforward. If you're not trading this method, what are you doing? It's literally so simple. All I have to do is draw a few boxes for 15 minutes, and then I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day, and tomorrow, and Sunday, and Monday. It's ridiculous, guys. Come on. I called this live as well. I said you can take the cells, manipulate up into a fair value gap. GU, what's going on here? So GU is just a mess, really. As you can see, it's just kind of consolidating. It's consolidating because both currencies are strong at the moment. They're both basically doing like a tug of war for the power of what direction GBP USD is going to go in. That's how you can think of it. What I said was going to happen yesterday happened. Obviously, it did. We had our accumulation, then our manipulation to this fair value gap. Although we didn't get any candlestick patterns, we are still in that manipulation zone. So it's a bit of a mess here. But the idea was right. We've still got the right idea. In USD CAD, I think I took a trade on this one and ended up losing. But as you can see, the idea is right as well. Unfortunately, I think I completely forgot I had this position open. I should have managed it before NFP was released to avoid this. But let's just see how much I lost. So I lost $213 there. Nothing really. There you go. You should be able to see that. $213. And you know what's more annoying? The idea was right. I'm still right. We took this liquidity, then had a nice move up. But news has just messed us around a little bit. But I reckon the idea is still right. We'll see how that plays out over time. So what do I expect on New Zealand JPY? So we've had our accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and then we've come back into the accumulation range here in the expansion or reversal phase. So we've got to keep an eye on that. That means we're probably going to just basically accumulate for the next few hours. It makes sense as well. When you're talking about an accumulation, you want to think about like what time it's going to be occurring. So if we're talking about an accumulation in the next couple hours, that means we're going to be having an accumulation towards the end of the week and the end of the day. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense to accumulate at that time. If we're going to accumulate at any time, it's when the markets are about to close for the week. So that makes sense, you know, with all the other pairs we're looking at as well. I can get rid of that for now. So we are looking at an accumulation in the next phase, next few hours. GBP/USD, it's just too messy to tell really. Both strong currencies battling out for power, and that's mainly because of the NFP and the big pieces of news that are going to be coming next week. So you can expect more of a consolidation of GU. I'm not going to bother analysing it. I'm going to probably delete it until someone wants to look at it again, because I don't like it. I don't care about it. Now USD CAD, we're just going to see how that plays out. We're expecting a distribution move, you know, and then either a reversal or an accumulation or an expansion. So that's what's going on all the pairs. They're the trades I've took. That's what's happened. That's how they've played out. Honestly, nothing else to talk about now. Just keep an eye out for. Honestly, there's nothing really. It's the end of the week. It's a Friday. You know, we're not trying to force any trades here. We've took the positions that we've seen, and it's worked. It's paid well. So we're not going to continue messing around. I am done for the day. I'm done for the week. And I'll see you guys on Monday. That's the analysis done. I've gone over the fundamentals for this week and next week. I've gone over GBP, JPY, all the trades I've took since we last spoke, and how they played out and why I took them. We talked about all the other Forex pairs, which I spoke about yesterday, all of my analysis, seeing how that was playing out. And then, obviously, you know, we've looked at the other trades. I think it was New Zealand, JPY and stuff like that. So yeah, we're done for the day. We're done for the week. We've worked hard and now we can relax for the weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Same time. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Make sure to review your journal. Make sure to review your journal and backtest as well. That's very important. Make sure you're backtesting your strategy. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please like the stream if you get a chance as well. It's very important to me. And obviously the YouTube business to help other people see this. Just like the stream before you go. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on Monday. That's twice now. Thanks for tuning in.